What is up, DC fans? I'm Tommy from ZD Comics, and today I have some new rumors on whether or not DC's movies and TV shows are connected. So of course, as of right now, they are not connected, but things can change in the future. So I'm going to go over two quotes that Stephen Amell said, but first I want to go over what he was basically talking about. They basically asked him, will Arrow or Flash ever make the leap to the big screen? And he mentions about how, making a movie would undersell the fact that making 23 episodes is such an achievement. And he did mention in this quote that there are at least going to be 3 more seasons left of Arrow, and he has to finish that up first. So what he's trying to say is there could be possibly a movie at the end of the road, which would probably be 2018. Now he said in all likelihood there'd be at least 3 or more seasons. Now 3 seasons would bring it up to a season 6, because right now we're on season 3. Now if what he says is true and there are 6 seasons, that means this whole series would end at the end of 2018. So maybe in 2018, once he's done his whole Arrow series and he's basically out of that universe, maybe he'll make the leap to the big screen in a live appearance of Green Arrow in possibly the Justice League 2 film, and the Justice League 2 film comes out in 2019. So, things kind of move up from there, and like he said, 3 more seasons, I think that could happen. I think we're going to have 5 seasons of Arrow. As of right now, because Flash is doing so good, and they are going to probably make another series on CW, I feel like Arrow could get bumped out of this. Maybe they'll cancel Arrow to keep 2 more, DC TV shows on air, just because Arrow might not do as well as, for instance, The Flash or Suicide Squad spinoff, which they might do. Now, of course, Arrow would still be in that universe, he just would be basically done his TV show. But then again, he could make the appearance on a big screen after his TV show, which, like I would say, could be around the year 2018 after 3 more seasons are done. So after he talked about that, he said, well, I should be the person to play Arrow on the big screen. And he literally said that. He's like, if Green Arrow is going to make an appearance in the movies, I should be playing him. So obviously he feels confident in his role as Green Arrow, which is always good. Actors have to feel confident in who they're playing. And he also mentioned, which I was pretty surprised about this, that Grant Gustin should have been the one that was casted as the Flash and not Ezra Miller. Now he is saying that Ezra Miller can play Barry Allen. He's saying that he has fantastic talent. He just thought that he thought that Grant Gustin should have played Barry Allen and not Ezra Miller. But he is saying that Ezra Miller will bring a new character to the table, like a different version of Barry Allen. So now I'm going to list the 2 quotes that he mentioned. You're looking at the first one on the screen right now. So it says, I am completely indifferent. First of all, wanting a movie undersells the idea that making 23 episodes a year isn't a huge achievement. I'd be putting making 23 hours of interesting content in a TV season up against anything on the film side. It is difficult for me to want and envision an Arrow movie when we are shooting the 10th episode of our 3rd season with 13 episodes to go. In all likelihood, 3 more seasons on the other side of that. I'm interested in keeping that content fresh. Once we get to the end of the road, maybe then I'll shift my focus. So of course that quote mentions the whole 3 seasons and him possibly playing Arrow at the end of the road in a movie. So that was pretty interesting that he actually went out and said that. The next quote brings the whole Grant Gustin in, that he should be playing the Flash. I feel like it should have been Grant doing the movie. But the important thing to remember is just because Grant Gustin plays the part of Barry Allen doesn't mean Ezra Miller can't also play Barry Allen. There can be different interpretations of the character. Anyone who is a fan of the comics knows the Flash character is one of the forces that leads to parallel universes. And who knows, they might find a fantastic actor to play Oliver Queen on the feature side who has a different take on the character. I'm certainly a departure from the typical Oliver Queen from the comic books. I just think that everyone needs to be patient with the whole thing. The fact that DC and Warner have announced all these comic book features, nothing but good business. So honestly, I'm pretty happy he said that. I mentioned the whole parallel universes thing, because my theory on a possible connection between the movie and TV universe is that there would be 2 different universes that could possibly come together, because you had the Flash, and the Flash connects his universes. He connects, time warp and everything like that. So things could possibly fit if they just do a whole parallel universe thing, which I don't know if they might do, but it is a possibility. And I like how he comes out and says, I am a departure from the original Oliver Queen from the comic books. Like, he's saying that, who he is his version of Oliver Queen. I like that. The actor's taking his own role. He's not trying to copy someone else, which usually messes up. When actors do their own thing, everything turns out better. So I thought this quote, these 2 quotes were pretty interesting, and I thought that Stephen Amell really came out and gave us lots of interesting facts on what we could be seeing in the future. So anyway, now that you know what's going on, I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section down below. Do you think that the DC TV and movies will ever connect? And do you think what Grant Gustin And, do you think Grant Gustin should have played Barry Allen, or do you think Ezra Miller will do just as good? Anyway, answer those questions down below. I'm Tommy from ZD Comics, and I want you to have a great day.
Ready, aim, fire.